All right, so Halo episode 4.
5, no?
For Halo, because yeah, because the other episode comes out tomorrow.
Wait, say what now? We're on Halo episode 5.
You're right, episode 5. It's 6 out tomorrow. I'm sorry, that was my fault.
No, you get. Hold on, let me just double check this real quick. The one that
You're
just
right.
came out was episode 5, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Episode 5 came out 6 days ago, so tonight.
Oh, okay.
That's why. Yeah.
Okay.
So this was Reckoning.
Mm-hmm.
So did you see this one?
I did see this one. I saw all the ones.
So you tell me what you think about this one, episode 5.
Whew. Another series, in my opinion, Halo, that's kind of driving me up the wall. I wasn't having high expectations for Halo. I felt like I haven't seen it, but there's like another series, Halo, that's on YouTube or something, and a lot of fans were kind of split between that one as well. So I'm like, yeah, they're bringing some newer, big time actors into the series. So episode 5, we're getting insight on John, right? He's regaining access to his past. We just find out that, spoiler alert, we just find out that he finally is aware of, damn, I can't think of her name. Do you know her name? Blonde lady?
Dr. Halsey.
Dr. Halsey, yes. That she was responsible, or it's looking that way. She wants to explain herself. Yeah. She's kind of already said that, but it's looking that way, that she kidnapped a bunch of kids on this newer planet that's kind of Earth-like for her own benefit of creating like an army, if you will, of Spartans, as they're called, to fend against the, damn, I forget what they're called. What do they call it? Council?
The Covenant.
The Covenant. There you go.
Yeah,
Thank you for that. Yeah. I love the fact that John, he's made a whole 180, right? He was real robotic like, as he should be, right? Being a Spartan. When he had the whole, I forget what it's called, the little pellet in his back, suppresses all his emotions, makes him robotic like, so he makes decisions that are forward and where he doesn't like go off on a tangent based on his emotions. Yeah. Right?
Easily manipulated.
So I like that he's done a really good job, flipping the switch and really starting to be more human. And that's kind of hard to do. Go to robotic to human as an actor or actress is tough, in my opinion. I like the fact that damn, I can't think of her name. The one with the blonde, I'm sorry, she has blonde hair and the Kai. There you go. Yeah. I like the fact that she saw him take out his pellet, so she took off her pellet, and she's going through that same transition. And so he's creating almost like especially the letter R. He's making like a revolution of Spartans that are trying to get more human-like and gain control of their own lives, right? And so that's going to create a whole mumbo jumbo of issues if everyone finds out the truth, whatever that may be, when it comes to this possible, alleged kidnapping of kids, which is a crazy concept, by the way. I love the fact that me myself kind of give a little bit of insight about what I know about Halo. I grew up as a Sony PlayStation player, so I've only owned an Xbox 360 for like a short amount of time. I only got one because my PS3 broke at the time, and there was a sale on Xbox 360s. So I picked one up. I'm like, okay, let me play some Modern Warfare 3 at the time. With my friends. I had a lot more friends that played Xbox 360, and they were all about Halo and whatnot. I didn't even play Halo at the time. I think I played it like a handful, 3 times, when Halo was hot, right? So I don't really know anything about the guns. I don't know anything about the hardware or like the weapons that they use. The only thing that I do know is of recently, before the series came out, I was playing Halo Infinite. Are you familiar with Halo Infinite?
Yep.
So it's the free to play, free to download at least, like Halo game. It's pretty much multiplayer. I don't think it has like a battle royale mode. If it does, I'm not aware about it. But it's pretty much right. Does it have one?
Yeah, it does. It's weird. Not really. Infinite. I mean, Reach does a little bit. It's kind of weird.
Reach. To me, it reminds me of old school Halo a little bit. They're bringing old school Halo to a modern platform, and I've played that, and I played that almost religiously with a friend from Canada that I no longer talk to. Different story, but I was playing it religiously, like almost every damn day for a good month or a couple months, and I was loving the game. Right, so thing about the series, and especially this episode 5, is we got a lot of callbacks to the game. The weapons, we saw the damn what's that like triangular looking thing that they used to like cut you. It's like a one shot thing to kill you.
Yep.
Do you know what it's called? I don't know what it's called.
I know what you're talking about.
I know. It's on the tip of my tongue. But that thing, right? I'm sure our fans will know. They'll let us know in the comments. But that one shot like melee weapon, that thing was shown. We saw the battle hammer that was like, ooh. The animation or the CGI for that whole thing was badass. Killed it with the battle hammer, with that fucking Covenant big ass creature coming down, looking like a boss coming out of that spaceship, and then boom, hits that thing, blows everybody away. That's what it does in the game. So the fact that they got that accuracy from the game, brought it to real life screen, I was like, bam, that's a win right there. Another thing that I really, really liked, especially from this episode, is we've got some setting up for the last episode, right? I think is this one also 6 episodes?
We have 4 more episodes.
Oh, 4 more episodes.
4 because it's 9.
I was almost under the impression that like just like Moon Knight, we're gonna get 1 more episode. So like I thought they were setting up for a big ass episode. The fact that the Covenant came down, they met at the same time with the Spartans to, you know, retrieve this the ring, right? What's it called?
Yeah, well, yeah. So the second part of the weapon, and that was interesting. That Master Chief allowed them to take it to save Kai.
Yep.
It's because of his emotions, his emotional connection, and him sending her away. He chose to save Kai, and that they were going to have some repercussions because of those things. And I think that was really interesting more than anything. And the fact that Dr. Halsey decided to go save her daughter. You know, that's nothing.
Dr. Halsey saved her. Who's her daughter? I'm lost.
The other doctor?
The one that's been taken off the team?
Yeah.
That's her daughter? No shit.
Yeah.
I've missed that part. I missed the part where they... Oh, snap. Do we know... Do we know who's the father?
Yeah, the general, the black general.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her call Halsey her mom. She calls her Halsey.
She calls her Halsey.
And I haven't seen her. And I haven't seen her call the dad.
Yeah, because he's the general. He tells her what to do. And she respects him that way. But you can tell he cares about his daughter.
Yeah.
It's different. But he tells her what to do. They're almost on the same side. But Dr. Halsey has been really favoring all the Spartans more than anything. And that's that's how she felt. She felt like, you know, as the child that wasn't favored. And that's even what she said when she started connecting with Kai. She said, I really feel like I was never her favorite child. You know, I was always, you know, the throwaway. And that was, you know, kind of what was key about it. Yeah, so I think Dr. Keyes. So Dr. Keyes is, you know, Dr. Halsey's daughter with the general. And I think that was interesting. The reason he sent her away because he didn't want her to deal with any of the blowback from John finding out that the general and Halsey kidnapped John. They saw him and saw him being a natural leader and him making the right decisions and doing whatever he could do to sacrifice to save that young boy when they were up on that high bridge, and they saw how everyone was willing to follow him and what type of person he was, and they kidnapped him, and they might have killed everybody there just to get him. It's possible they killed his parents.
That's what it seems like, right? That's like the kind of vibe they kind of gave off. Damn.
And because of that, that's why the general sends Keyes away, Dr. Keyes away. Because he doesn't want her to be around John if he goes off and kills everybody. because he snaps. So it's just a father way of doing those things.
I was under the impression that, and all that makes sense. It is now clicking for me. I guess I've been a little bit ignorant to the series, and I've been watching them. You know, I haven't been I have a really bad attention span, but I've been watching it, right? But that's just a very important detail that I missed. I was under the impression that Dr. Keyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was an up and coming scientist, right? And she was trying to get her 15 minutes of fame as a doctor that's changing the scientific game. And Dr. Halsey was just like, oh no, like these youngins, like, nah, let me shut her out. Let me take away her ability to shine and whatnot. That's what I was getting there.
Kind of is that way, but it's also because she's also her mother, and that's what was interesting about Halsey, because Halsey could have also went against that weapon and saved it from the Covenant, but she chose to go save her daughter. She saw Miranda out there, and she says, "I need to go get her."
It also clicked too when she picked up Keyes like off the ground and she's like carrying her. That like it drew like a question mark in my head. Like, what? I thought she's been like hating on this girl this whole time, but she gotta save her daughter. Now I get it.
She loves her, and it matters, and she matters a lot, and she's starting to realize that she matters, and both her and John made decisions that allowed the Covenant to take the weapon that they just unearthed and saw how much power it caused. And that's interesting. And now, the other one who has this part of the Covenant is going to have the weapon and be able to find Halo. Because this is the whole thing is about the Halo, the circle. So finding all these things out, and that's going to be really interesting to see where they go from here. And what I thought was really cool in this episode, you saw Cortana shut down John.
Yeah, took him out.
John didn't realize she could do that.
I didn't know she could do that. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, she's in the cerebral cortex, so at any point in time, that's the only reason why Halsey decided to merge them. Put Cortana in him so she can control it. She can't control John. She'll shut him down.
And she controlled him for a good reason, too.
Because he was going to kill him.
He's like, why you little... Like, he threw all caution out the window. He said, consequences? What are those? Let me end you right now. And that was a crazy scene. Like, man, I got a question for you. So, we've seen a little bit of Dr. Halsey when she's younger, her younger self, when she's in the whole kidnapping phase, right? And I want to say that's her younger self, right? I even question that because maybe it's just me. Maybe we can count it as a dislike for me with the series as well as this episode. But we see more of her as a younger self, right? I draw a question of, is that even her younger self? Because, and the reason why I asked that is because we've seen, I think in episode 3 or 4, that she makes a clone of herself. Did I see that right?
That's who Cortana is. Cortana is the mental part of that clone injected into John's consciousness.
How do we know that the younger version of Dr. Halsey isn't just another clone? What if she's that mad of a scientist that she's just cloning herself for decades and decades? Because I didn't, to be honest, I didn't see a bit.
The only problem is the general, which is was her husband, and Keyes' father was also there. He looked younger too.
He did.
And he is, as I say, he's the big honcho too, head honcho too. So these guys have been planning things for a long time. I think he's more her conscience, and he can't control her because she's gonna be a mad scientist and do what she's gonna do. But basically, her children, her family became the Spartans. Yeah. And she chose Spartans over her family. And I think that's what really boils down to. And if she's starting to realize how important Dr. Keyes is too. So where does she go with this? How does she control John? How does John get away from Cortana? Does he get away from Cortana? Does Cortana start to see that how important it is to keep John sane or to use him as a partner? All these things are all questions.
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering, Cortana is an AI, right? She's always learning herself. So what if she learns that Dr. Halsey's intentions or her agenda isn't all ethical or isn't all right? And what if does she have the ability to turn on her creator? Is that a thing?
She does. Yes, she does.
She does, right?
And I believe that she does see that already, but she hasn't decided to do it yet.
Because even and 2 episodes ago, Cortana, maybe it was last episode, Cortana questioned Dr. Halsey's motive when she's like, you want me to let him take out his pellet? Like, you sure that's against doing stuff? So the fact that she even has that pushback so early on with the series, that makes me think that she could turn. But I'm just wondering, how much control does Dr. Halsey have on her? It's just
I think because of artificial intelligence, you think you have control, but because she's an AI, she probably can decide morally that I shouldn't listen to this person, and she might side with John. This is not like the game. So the storyline, which I feel like it's started from the game. There's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of callbacks to the game, but the storyline is not like it, and it's changing all the time. And I can't wait to see what they do with each new episode, because a lot of people they have a lot of critics. This whole Halo thing has a lot of critics, but most of the people are people that love the game. And what I would tell everybody is this is not like the game. This is its own series that is going to stand its own 2 feet. And if you've never played Halo, have no idea what the story is, it can still stand on its own. That's what you're going to have. So. I think that's what really what we get. I mean, we didn't even talk about Quan and Soren. So Soren, remember he handcuffs Quan to the bike?
Yeah.
And gets into more trouble.
Because she breaks away.
She breaks away, and now what is that? What they're going to do? What's Quan and Soren going to end up doing? There's so many things going around, and in the Covenant, now that they have this weapon, what are they going to do? How are they going to use it? They don't have the other side. Do they need John?
Yeah, is he necessary in that whole equation?
Yeah.
So I got a few. Yeah. I got a few things to say. So one, I feel like that whole handcuff to the vehicle was hilarious. It kind of reminded me of Rush Hour, back when Chris Tucker handcuffs Jackie Chan to the steering wheel. I was like, that's funny. 2, yeah, I don't know, man. With this whole series, I'm kind of losing my head.
Quan High is making me angry. That having that young teenage girl who's just all over the place, and any teenager, it doesn't matter, girl, boy, girl, it's driving me nuts. It's literally driving me nuts. And seeing what they're doing, and I hope that we see her grow up a little bit and make her realize that the world is not just what she sees, not what she wants.
She's so naive. She's so young-spirited.
But she also lost her entire family, and she's gonna one day turn around and realize that what she's fighting for, no one else is fighting, and the only one who cares about her is Soren. And it's only because of John.
True.
And all these things are going to meet. I'm thinking about episode 8. You're going to see all these things meet at the same time, and we're going to get some answers.
Damn. Do you ever see Quan turning into a Spartan? You think that's in the cards?
No, just because I think she's going to be more like Soren.
Okay. More free will, more bigger picture.
Leading another group. Yeah, leading another group. She's a leader. She was being groomed to be a leader, and she's going to lead something else.
Okay.
And it could be helping Soren's son lead their group.
Damn. Oh yeah, I forgot about Soren's son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Damn. And that kid, I forgot, he had a scene where it made me think, I think he showed like a magic trick or he did something to where he's like, hey, look at this. And it made me think like, ooh, I think the show has plans for him, like big plans for him. And that'd be great if they did. So I totally forgot about Soren's son.
So I mean, they have a lot of leeway to do it, and they don't. It's not one episode. Even they have 4 or 5 episodes, and they're already. I mean, they can go multiple seasons and do whatever they want because they did not stay to the same blueprint as everything else. So they can really go creatively wherever they want to go, and that's what makes me excited about it. And hopefully, enough people give it a chance so they can enjoy what it is, not just always talk about what it isn't.
So, kind of piggybacking off of what you just said, giving the show a chance. Episode 1, episode 1 of any series, right, should be your attention grabber and should get you to stay for the rest of the ride, right? The moment I got hooked, and it sounds real silly too, is when John, Master Chief, took off his helmet. Yeah. And that's against like policy and against everything. I was like, oh shit, why do you do that? Like, they made it seem like it was a big deal, And he really showed off like, hey, you can trust me. I'm doing something that's putting myself in a vulnerable place. You can trust me. That made me think the show is like not following your basic format of how you do a series or how you have a hero take his hero's journey. They're going a crazy route, and I like that. That makes me hooked on the show. Even being a Halo fan from just recently, from Halo Infinite, which is hilarious, by the way. So I think people should give the show a chance. Now, we've talked about a lot of things that kind of blew our minds and the things that we liked and things that just stood out to us. Is there anything that you really dislike from the series? Is there something that kind of pulls you away?
I hate Quan Ha. Like, she makes me so angry watching her. Just, oh my God. I'm like, little girl, if you don't sit your dumb self down. Oh my gosh. You're driving me nuts.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't stop, she drives me nuts, honestly. And that's her. I think Master Chief takes his helmet off way too much. So I really appreciated when I saw it the first time. But seeing him do it over and over and over again, I mean, he's never Master Chief. The badass. And that's what Halo's all about.
Yeah.
But now I think that what they've done is they've made a foundation, not on the game, but on what they were going to do. And now I feel like this whole show forward on its own organic way, like just on itself. Mm-hmm. So I'm enjoying what they're doing, and that they're not just leaning on the game for everything, because the shows that have leaned on the game for everything have never gone anywhere. We want to be honest.
True.
I mean, what video game has done that well? Then try and turn it to a show. Mm-mm. So what you need to make it something else. And I think I'm glad it decided to go ahead and do its own thing and not try to be something that's not.
Well said. I have like a couple things to talk about left. We haven't mentioned the ending. I don't know if you want to do that next, or if you got anything else before we talk about that. We'll save that especially for last. Let's do that. Okay. So at the very end, which threw me for a curveball, because I'm still trying to like piece together why. I know why, kind of. They kind of foreshadowed it in the previous episode. So you're gonna have to help me out with her name. But the chosen one, right? The chosen one that's for the Covenant is I presume woman, right? She's a woman. She
Yeah.
comes off as a woman. I forget her name. I know they have a name for her, but she, I'll call her Covenant Human. So the Covenant Human, she has special powers. She has a special tie into this whole equation of the sacred ring being the halo, right? And the weapon that these two pieces put together. That's been said by that like oracle looking dude, oracle sounding dude. That he's like, oh yeah, it's a bigger weapon to take away humanity. Like she's a human herself, right?
Yep.
So that's drawn me for like a crazy ride. She gets dropped down after the Covenant retrieves the ring. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Or the second part.
Second part.
Not the ring. Second part of the weapon. Allegedly, they grab it because it's up for grabs because of John dropping the ball to save Kai. Right. That's exactly what happened. Spoiler alert. We're at the point where we can kind of talk about this. So they steal it, and she didn't have to come down. But they drop her off, and even her, she's like, hey, I'll make it believable. Like, she says something like that before she gets dropped down. But she gets spit out from the ship and lands hardcore into the ground and looks all hurt and, like, and dazed and whatnot. She's like, ugh. Like, she looks so vulnerable, and she's doing it on purpose. It's very obvious that she's doing that on purpose. And so...
The same thing she did earlier in the previous episode. Pretend to be hurt a damn and gain their trust, and so she can get close to Master Chief, so she knows who this John 117 is and what makes him so important. Because if she could use him, Maki's going to use him, and that's kind of what's going on.
So that's the plan that you think, right? Or that's not even that you think. It sounds like it's heading that way.
And she's going to try to get with John and say, hey, let's use it for the Covenant and let's open up this halo. And more than anything, John's going to be thinking his own thing. And I don't know if she's going to be aware of Cortana. And Cortana is help in this situation. Cortana. And the fact that he has this connection to these other Spartans. He now cares because he got that chip. I believe he cares more about his Spartans than he cares about all this whole war thing.
Yep.
He's
no longer thinking about the mission.
It might be Kai specifically. It might be their connection specifically. I'm not sure, but definitely at least about their Spartans, and that's his family, and he's going to take care of them. He's not going to let them die.
You think Kai could be a love interest? He told her to get off the mission or get off the team, or you're not you're not combat ready because she wanted to protect her, like that deep. You think like she's like a love interest, even
protective over her, but I don't know if it's a love interest yet. I don't think John even knows what love would be. I don't know if he'll be able to compute. It's going to take a long time for that to really come up because he's been machine-like for such a long time, and he's been separated from anything that's everyone he thought he loved or liked or could depend on. Has shown to be non-trustworthy. Yeah, I think that's going to take a long time for him to be able to deal with, but I think he does rely on his fellow Spartans, and that's enough.
Okay. Well, already Covenant Human, John had a gun pointed directly at her as soon as she popped out of the ship, right? And he let his guard down. I think that was a mistake, right? Yeah. That was a mistake, and that's gonna bite him in the ass come next few episodes. It has to, because she's already done such a great acting job first time around when she tricked, the Covenant into thinking like, oh yeah, she's a damsel in distress. Now she tricked John, who has like this X factor to him. Man, I wonder if them two, John and Covenant, Covenant Human, Maki. I wonder if they're like two sides of a coin. Are they both the same type of person? Do they? Obviously, she has a gift, right? She was like scanned by damn, who are they called? Do you know who they're called? The monsters.
The monsters. I can't. What they're called. The
monsters. They're monsters. Yeah. But I wonder, are they? like, are they the same person but just different sides of the same coin? Because they both have a gift. It's been expressed a few times that they both have a gift. John, every time he touches these crazy, alien like weapons, he can like get access to a bunch of power and knowledge all of a sudden. And then her, just being scanned early on in the series, like she already knows the language of like the monster aliens. Like, I wonder if they're like the same person. I know that right now they're on opposing sides, but do you think they could ever team up? Like, do they think they can start to understand each other and then be the same side?
She's going to try to get him to be on her side. But I think John's going. Yeah, I think his chip is going to not allow him to do that because he has connections to his side already. I think that John is stronger than she is, and that they're going to realize that even if she leaves, they're going to realize they need John in order for this to work. But Master Chief, if he becomes who he's supposed to become, that this is going to be too hard for something to happen, and they'll just always be on opposing sides. But isn't that what the best opposing people are? They're very similar to each other. Batman, Joker, both sociopathic people. The one does for good, one does for evil. Like, that's kind of what this is going to end up coming to. And she's going to try to get him to trust, but he trusts nobody. So that's not going to work. So I'm interested to see. We only got 2.5 hours before the next episode is going to come out. So we'll find out exactly what's happening very, very soon. I'm interested to see what the Covenant does and what Maki is what's her plan, and can John ever trust Cortana again? Because I don't think he ever can trust Halsey again. But can he trust Cortana again? I think that's going to be big. And what does the fact that Halsey saved Dr. Keyes, what does that do for their relationship? Those are questions I have no idea. And what's going to happen with John and Kai?
Yeah.
Are the rest of the Spartans going to take out their chips because of it?
It sounds that way. They've already created this pattern that someone watches the other one acting a little bit weird and different, so they get interested. That's what happened with Kai. She saw John acting a little off, watched him while he took off his pellet. Boom. She takes off her pellet. Yeah. I'm wondering if
the other two see him do that, know that he chose to save her instead of going after the weapon, and say, maybe we want to follow John too. And he says, no, don't do it. And of course they do it anyway.
He's going to have to convince them. He's going to have to convince all the Spartans. If that does happen, he's going to have to convince them, like, hey, do you guys know where you even came from? Y'all were kidnapped. And have like evidence, concrete evidence.
I don't think he's going to convince them to not take it out. Because they're going to follow him and do whatever he does. If they find out he did it, they're going to do it.
Damn.
No matter what. They will follow the general and follow him, Master Chief, into any situation, no matter what. And if he did it, they're going to do it.
If he can take out his chip, right, his pellet that suppresses emotion and has control over him, what's to say, and I know you mentioned Cortana is embedded into his cerebral cortex.
Yeah.
What if there's a technology or a way to take Cortana out? It sounds really hard to do, her being so integrated into the brain.
His own brain. That's the problem. He has to disconnect his own brain. And maybe that's what he does. He threatens to kill himself, or she listens to him. Because death for him means death for her.
True. And that means death for the whole damn mission.
Everything.
He ties everything.
Either she listens to him or nothing works.
Can I just say he's funny as hell when he tells Cortana, I think it's towards the end, he's like, hey, Cortana, can you do me a favor? Can you shut the hell up? That killed me, bro. I was like, damn, that was pretty cool. Well said, John.
Well, do you say how do you rate this episode?
Ooh, good question. So for Halo Episode 5, I want to rate this one. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna rate this a watch now for a few reasons. The other episodes, they're almost a now. They're mostly pretty good in my opinion. A lot of it is filler information, not too much action. It's a lot of like backstory or setting up. But this one especially didn't have so much setup as to it actually being execution of like story, like really the guts happening, right? So we find out that some crazy secrets. John touches the damn second part of the weapon and finds out a lot of the truth or alleged truth that he sees, and so that progresses the story so much. So because of the progression of the story from this episode alone, that gives me a watch now. And then the cherry on top of this being a watch now is the fact that we got to see, this being the Halo freaking series, we got to see the damn weapons from the game. The Warhammer, I want to call it a spear, that little triangle looking thing. I can't think of it.
Like a fist, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, right. And it's a one-shot weapon, at least in Halo Infinite. I don't know about the other ones. Shame on me for not knowing. But the fact that we see those weapons, we see the shield that they have, the Spartans, or was it the Spartans or the Covenant? Someone shows it off. And oh no, it was the Spartans. They show off so much from the game, and I know this isn't about the game, right? Like how you said earlier, this is a series that's supposed to be standing on its own. It doesn't have the greatest ties to the game, but the fact that they brought those callbacks from the game, I thought that was real nostalgic feeling, even though I can't really experience that true organic nostalgia. But the fact that they included that made this a watch now. Overall, well, what do you think, Bryan? Where does this fall for you, rating wise?
I believe the first 4 episodes were like all sides of a house, and now the foundation has been poured, and now with this 5th episode, you're starting to see an organic building of a story without having to lean on anything specifically besides what you've already put in place. And that's why I say it's a now. I think it's not one of those things you can't skip over this episode and get anywhere else. You need this episode specifically to understand the importance of Cortana, to understand why your best chief jumping for Kai matters, to understand that the Covenant having the weapon, how important that is, for him not to have the trust of Dr. Halsey, to not trust the general, why the general said what he said to Dr. Keyes. All those things matter so much. This is a huge relationship building episode you needed. And this is a definite now. I think you have to have this type of episode. You know where the people are, and now you start to understand their personality. For their character arc, this is the beginning of their character arc right here.
Yep. I feel like Moon Knight should take some notes from Halo on tying I mean, they're not tying any loose ends, but they're definitely bringing them together in this episode alone. While Moon Knight episode 5, who's one away from finishing the damn season, there's so much left up in the air. Yeah. In this one, in Halo episode 5, they're really, really like bringing it all together. You said it so perfectly. Building a house, they laid down the foundation, they set it up so well to the fact that episode 5 brought you a bigger part of the map of what's going on.
Exactly.
I totally agree with that. Damn. Hell of a series.
Yeah. I can't wait. I'm probably gonna stay up tonight to watch it.
Damn. So what time does it come on again? We gotta remind the viewers as well as myself. 11 p.m.
I've been seeing it about 12 o'clock. I used to see it pop on my Paramount.
Damn.
So right around 12 I see it pop on. So about 2 hours or so, you'll probably see it pop on.
I really want to join for this next show, which is going to be right next week, episode 6, season finale for Moon Knight. I got to be there. Sweetie, if you please push me to like not sleep for episode 6. Push me to be in this next episode. Thank you.
We'll do this.
I appreciate you having me on.
Your information, your insight is really great, and I think it really balances out a lot of the stuff. So this is great.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. I'll be here.
All right. Well, Thank you, Tank, of course, Oli and Derpy, all coming in and still staying with us. I appreciate you guys, and we will see you next week. So, see you later.
Deuces.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We out here.